Shaka! Welcome to another Sasha. I just called myself Sasha. Welcome to another Sasha Daygame podcast. I could do it as Sean Connery. Hello. Welcome to another Sasha Daygame podcast. I'm Sean Connery. You can see me in such movies as Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes. Women love the sound of my voice. I hear nipples hardening now. That's not my joke. That's Stuart Francis's joke. He's a comedian from Canada who I used to know back in the 90s. So, hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. This time, we're doing a podcast about buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Now, you might be thinking, who gives a shit? Why? I'm not a fucking dork. I don't know about any of this stuff. Why do I care? I'll tell you why you should care. Because if you get paid in US dollars, Canadian dollars, British pounds, lira, any fiat currency whatsoever, any type of money that you consider to be money, you're getting fucked over. And I'll tell you why you're getting fucked over. Because the money's not back to gold or anything else like it used to. It's not actually worth anything. It's only worth something because people believe it's worth something. But what central banks do is they just keep printing unlimited amounts of money to basically give to their friends and to steal and to do God knows what, to wage war in other countries and kill lots of people. And so what happens is, as they print magical money out of thin air, it dilutes the currency, and your money that you have in your pocket is worth less and less and less. This is what inflation is about. This is why prices are going up and everything seems more expensive, because money, they just destroy the currency. So it's a way of stealing money from you, normal human person who's working away doing whatever you do. They just steal money from you that way. And it's so clever because, look, if they come to your house with a gun and say, give us your money, which actually they do that, try not to do what the government wants. Yeah, they do that too. But this is much more insidious because you don't know they're doing it, but you're losing money every single fucking day. So here's what's different about, let's talk about Bitcoins, because that's the one you might have actually heard about. Bitcoins, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins. It's programmed that way. It's a virtual currency. It's everybody who uses Bitcoin contributes to basically the network that runs Bitcoin. It's really difficult to just take over. It's really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's decentralized. It's decentralized, and so the government can't just come in and make more. You make more Bitcoins by using a tremendous amount of computing power to solve mathematical problems, and then if you solve it, then you get some Bitcoins, and you can sell those Bitcoins to other people. So there are people doing this professionally, but the government can't go do it. Corporations can't go do it. It's really individual people who are miners who are making more Bitcoins. So you can't just magically make them out of thin air. You got to work your balls off to make them. So over time, it becomes harder and harder and harder to solve these problems, and therefore Bitcoins will go up in value. There's less and less of them being produced and added to the pool of existing Bitcoins, and the last one's going to be made in 2140? Was that?
That's a prediction, yeah.
2140 approximately is when the last one will be made. So it's going to go up in value, and the reason why they're so awesome is the government can't come in and can't come in and just tax you. Like, you can basically send money. Look, every time you send money to anyone in the world, you're getting ripped off. Try using Western Union. Try using anybody. PayPal. If you own a business, they'll come in and just freeze your account and say, yeah, prove to us you're legitimate, and we're holding your $10,000 or $50,000. All of these companies fuck you over all the time. If you're in business, you will know this. If you've ever dealt with a bank, you know you're getting ripped off all the time. And the reason for that is you have absolutely no power. If you look at the laws that they're actually passing now, you don't even own the money in your own bank account. Depends what country you're in, but you don't own the money. You just have this, it's like a little credit on the system or whatever, but it's all made up. You don't own the money. You work for it. You put it in the bank, it's not yours anymore. Okay, and they can basically just say, no, we're not going to give it to you, and there's nothing you can do. It's getting worse and worse and worse all the time. If you really follow the alternative news and you look at what's going on, they can do whatever they want, period. So the whole thing, not only is it a scam and they're destroying the currency, they can also just not give you your own money. I've had my bank accounts frozen for no reason. Absolutely no reason. Then you got to go through the fraud department and prove that your money is your money or that you say who you are, all this kind of shit. And their strategy is they freeze your money and they hope that you can't go through the ridiculous security, and then they'll just keep it. And then while it's frozen, they're investing it, they're playing the stock market, they're doing all kinds of stuff to make money off your money. Do you really think it takes 3 days or 5 days for you to wire money from one country to another? It's instantaneous. It's all digital. But no, they're going to, no, it's going to take 5 days, and it's going to cost you the $30, and then this fee, and then we're going to take 2% because you changed currency. It's all a fucking scam. They want a little percentage of every single dollar they make off you. That's how the system works. Every little piece. They'll tax you, but you want to send that money to someone else, they're going to take a little piece of that. You want to switch currencies, they're going to take a little piece of that, and they'll keep taking it till you have nothing. That's how they roll. That's the way the system is built. I'm not even going to get into all that stuff because I'll just I'll just rant the whole time and we won't even get into Bitcoin. So the reason that Bitcoin is so fucking awesome, when you realize what it really, really, really does, it's so awesome, dude. It's awesome because when you have it, the only way you can lose it, if you lose your password or your account gets hacked or something, sure, that's possible. It can happen with anything, okay? But fundamentally, you can control who you send it to. You can send it to me. You can send it to your other friend. You can send it to your friend who's in some other country. It's almost free to send. It's like, what is it? As a percentage, it's like, it's almost nothing.
Yeah, it's 5 cents, American cents is one sort of.
Yeah, it's about a nickel or whatever, and it's for the network, and it goes to
And you can send it for free. It'll just take like maybe a couple of days to confirm or like pay whatever you want. But the 5 cents.
It's almost free. I just like to say it's almost free. It's not going to be $30 a transaction and then paying a percentage to some company. It's almost free. It's fast, and you control your money. And like the system is so freaking insane right now. You were breaking the law again. Not in all countries, certainly in the U.S. If I come to you and I say, hey, bro, you know what? My roof's got a hole in it in my house, and I don't know how to fix it. But I know you're a roofer. Would you be willing to fix the roof in my house? And you say to me, yeah, sure. But I know that you speak Russian. If you're willing to spend 3 hours teaching me Russian, I'll take the 3 hours I need to fix your roof. And I'll say, well, that sounds fair to me. Cool, let's do that. We shake hands. Boom. You're breaking the law. You're breaking the law because you're using your labor to make some sort of money, even though you're getting paid in labor. Doesn't matter. The government wants its piece. You're breaking the law. You can be arrested for doing that. Okay? Think about that for a second. This is the kind of gang that's running the planet. Anything that you do, they want their piece of everything, and you have no choice. Okay, so again, that's not what we're talking about here. But the fact that with Bitcoin, you control your money, you can give it to whoever you want to, almost for free, very quickly, and no one can come in and fucking stop you. That you actually control your own money. There's no bank. You're your own fucking bank, and you decide what you do with your money. No one's taxing it. No one can steal a piece of it. It's fucking completely world changing. And what kind of planet do we live on that it's revolutionary? Just the fact that you would control your own money. What kind of planet? Hey, bro, there's this amazing currency where you can decide what to do with it, and no one can tax you or steal it from you, and you can just do what you want with your own money. What? What's this? What's this? It's called Bitcoin? That sounds crazy. Think about how insane that is. It's insane.
It's insane.
Just that we're having this conversation about a new form of money that you can control and decide what to do with is fucking insane. That tells you what kind of totalitarian fucking system we're living under. So, anyway. So this is what we want to talk about: Bitcoins and cryptocurrency, and how to make money off this, and how to secure your future and not be basically destroyed by the system and not be impoverished, which is exactly what's happening to the vast majority of people right now, as Juan goes for a nice whiskey. Yeah. So I have a very special guest today with me in the studio. His name is Juan. I like saying Juan because it's more sexy.
Yeah.
But is it Juan or Juan?
Whatever's sexier.
I like Juan. Juan Galt. He's here. He's a Canadian/Mexican?
Colombian.
Canadian/Colombian, but we're in Mexico. So it's I know it's a little bit much, but we'll try and keep it straight. And we're here in Acapulco, and you are a professional, what would you say, a professional cryptocurrency
researcher?
Researcher?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a researcher. I'm a communicator journalist. I've written for almost every Bitcoin magazine, news site, website on the space that matters. I think Bitcoin magazine. You look at my name and you'll find articles everywhere. I have a YouTube channel, so I've been doing this for about 4 years, just looking into Bitcoin professionally for about 2 years, and I'm making money off of it. It's kind of an incredible thing. Like, I have most of my wealth in cryptocurrencies, and I don't worry about money anymore, dude, because shit just like the US dollar, everything gets more expensive when you're in the US dollar, Canadian dollar, or fiat currency. Everything constantly gets more expensive. You're always working your ass off, and it's so hard to get on top if you're the average person. But when you hold Bitcoin, your money just multiplies. It's insane. Things just get cheaper, right? Because Bitcoin is separated from the system. It is anti-fragile to the system, right? It's not centrally controlled. It's not attached to the politics. In fact, whenever a country goes down in its currency, Bitcoin goes up because people just flock to Bitcoin. The ones that know. So, Obama called it a Swiss bank account in your pocket.
He's right. He's not often right, but he's right about that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a threat. But before we get into that, just curious, how did you even get it? Like it's so insane. Like how many people in the world today could call themselves, professionals of any type in the cryptocurrency space? I mean, there's probably thousands at this point, right? But it's still a very new, very small thing. How did you even stumble into it? And how did you sort of make that shift into full time?
Well, I started getting to libertarian circles probably 7 years ago. And at some point, somebody sort of talked about it. I mean, it's no secret that Bitcoin is a libertarian currency, right? And so I just heard about it, and I started researching it. And I've been studying economics and philosophy and psychology and geopolitics for like 7 years, or something like that. So when I saw it, it just made sense because I understood what you were just talking about, which is that the Federal Reserve is this. The Federal Reserve is this sort of one kind of monopoly in the U.S. government that gets to print all the money that it wants. And if you and I go and print some U.S. dollars, we're going to jail for a long fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
But these people can print it on
unlimited.
Bulk, unlimited, all they want, and give it to whoever they want, and bail out the banks who frauded people and lied and are involved in illegal kind of drug transactions. If we do it, we're fucked. If they do it, they just get a 2% fee and
That's
keep doing your business,
yeah.
right?
No problem.
So I mean, the Federal Reserve, right? I got that they can sort of basically steal from you by doing what they claim is bad, which is counterfeiting. They counterfeit the money supply, and then they buy and pay people on the real-time value of the money, and then you get the inflation later on, and so the purchasing power of your units of your money goes down over time. With Bitcoin, it has a hard limit based on cryptography, and this is a very complex mathematical sort of system that makes it so that you can't cheat it, right? And you can go look up cryptography. In 4 hours, I learned everything I needed to know about cryptography on a website called, Learning About Cryptography or something like that, right? So it's this incredible mathematical thing, and it makes it so that no human can break this thing, right? It's encryption basically, and that's huge. That's huge because that means we can have money without middlemen, and without people stealing through inflation, and it's very powerful.
I think it's epic. So, do you remember where you were when you sort of heard about it for the first time?
Yeah, I was in London, Ontario. I was just listening to a podcast, and somebody said, "Oh, Bitcoin is, this thing you really got to look into it. It's Austrian economics, sort of, sound money type of thing, and it's digital, it's decentralized." And I was like, "What the hell are they talking about?" So I bought a little bit, and then I continued to learn my first big lesson, which is you got to learn how to back up your Bitcoin wallet, and so you gotta. Like when you make a Bitcoin wallet, there's an option to make a copy of the wallet and put it safely somewhere. Like write down the words in paper somewhere, put it under your mattress, memorize it, do something with it. Because if you lose your phone, if your hard drive crashes, if your computer explodes, you still have the money in that backup. Well, I didn't do that because back then there was no information about how to run a Bitcoin wallet, right? So I bought a bit of Bitcoin, and then I lost the wallet, and then I bought more Bitcoin, and and that's been like a 4-year journey, right? And it's getting a lot easier now. And so if you go to Mycelium, we'll put a link below or something, right? Mycelium wallet is like one of the best, right? So I was, 4 years ago, pretty much.
So what's happened during that time? Because back then it was just like you were just completely, it was just a brand new thing. You probably think, oh, this guy's crazy. Somebody tells you about Bitcoin, you're like, get the fuck out of here. But now it's really a real thing. It doesn't seem to be going away. There's tons of money being invested into it, even by real, companies that are there to make money. Big businesses are actually starting to put money into Bitcoin. So it's not going anywhere. It's just not going anywhere. That's a fact at this point.
Yeah, this is seen as the next layer of the internet, right? I mean, the internet allowed us to share information, very easily, but we didn't have money for the internet until Bitcoin, right? PayPal is very centralized and has its ups and downs, but it can be controlled by governments and all this stuff, and it's not automatic, right? Credit card payments, it's an infrastructure.
There's always a third party that can say, no, we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
It's so many, it's happened to me so many times. I can't imagine somebody listening to this right now who's like, no, I've never had a problem, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone has had problems. You go to your bank machine, you've got money in there, doesn't work. You try and transfer money to somebody, or someone tries to send you money. You need some ID. You have to prove something. The fraud department, all this kind of shit. if you've ever had to call your bank and go through to the fraud detection team to prove that like you're trying to access your own money, it is one of the most frustrating things ever. Doesn't really happen with Bitcoin.
No.
It doesn't happen with Bitcoin. You either have your password and you can get into your account, and if you don't, you need to hack. You know, that's it. As long as you have access to your account, you're good. You can do whatever the hell you want with your money. Yeah. That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah, and just to give a brief overview of why that works and how that works, it's basically Bitcoin is basically a long list of who owns what, who owns how much, and this list has a copy on 5,000 to 10,000 computers all around the world, and it's updated live. Every time you make a transaction, everybody gets a transaction on their list, and they just update it, right? And so transactions are peer-to-peer. There's no centralized sort of company that can sort of say, fuck you, we're going to keep your money, all this stuff, right? Or just sort of try to like, or that can be hacked, or that can be attacked, or no government can collapse around because it's complete. It's as decentralized as the internet. It's everywhere. So so that is huge. That is actual, like person-to-person, peer-to-peer transactions, but over the internet. And I mean, the Winklevoss brothers, twins from Facebook, they have this thing called the Gemini Exchange, and it's a very legitimate sort of by the book. I think they're kind of like a brokerage sort of company, right? So they basically, you give them money and they invest it for you. And then one of the things they deal with is cryptocurrencies. They're huge, right? I mean, this is first movers, people that helped invent Facebook. These people know what they're doing. A lot of really smart people have endorsed Bitcoin. Microsoft is working with Ethereum, which is another cryptocurrency that's booming right now. I mean, this thing is here to stay, and this technology is here to stay, and there's an incredible chance that Bitcoin is just going to skyrocket. And there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies that have really, I put some money into Ethereum. This is another sort of cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin is it's like money. It's like international money. You can pay. You can buy things online and all that. It takes takes about an hour, and then boom, delivered, right? And now Ethereum is like it's called the smart contracting platform, and it allows people to do very complex sort of trades, right? So like, I will pay you for that car if the insurance company verifies it, and if I'll pay you in 3 payments, one now, one in 6 months, one in a year, if the car's still working, right? Like, you can program a payment cryptographically with people that you don't know, and then just have the network and the cryptography deal with the transaction. You don't have to trust a third party to make sure that your money actually moves.
See,
which is huge.
That would be super useful. So, for example, I've had guys come to me who they want to do one of my, expensive boot camps or residentials. I got these, programs where I go out and I do what I do, and I teach guys. And they say, I really want to work with you, but I don't have the money. I've got some of the money. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess we could do a payment plan, but how do I know that, 3 months from now or 6 months from now, you're going to pay me? You know what I'm saying? It's always a risk. And some guy could go, I changed my mind. Fuck off. I'm just not going to pay you. Some, obviously most people don't do that, but some people do. And it's really frustrating. And I want to work with these guys. They're really enthusiastic. They just don't have all the money right now. So how awesome would it be if I go, cool, you get your Bitcoins, and have them sitting there in an account or whatever, and you'll pay me this much now, and then in 3 months for the next whatever, every 3 months for the next year, you're going to pay me this much, and it's just going to happen automatically. I don't even have to think about it. That's fucking awesome. But it could be used for so many things, though. It's just it's a world changer. Basically, what it means is we're not going to need lawyers anymore to do these contracts. We could just have everything done automatically using mathematics.
Yeah, you could do something like that. Yeah, you would have to sort of prove that like, there would have to be some sort of oracle, they call them, right? That say, oh, this happened, therefore transaction gets made. But it's trustless, right? Like, it's a lot better. So and it's a lot cheaper, right? I mean, a lawyer, like, most people don't have access to the legal system whatsoever.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But when you can, like, right now Ethereum just launched, right? And Ethereum is they did the homestead version, so it's like the Ethereum beta. And it's basically meant to make it easy for anybody to just program their own kind of legal contracts cryptographically, right?
So I'm curious. So Bitcoin, basically the creator made it so that it becomes harder and harder and harder to solve the problems that allow you to get Bitcoin. because he knows that obviously processing power is always going up. So he just sort of made it, so it gets harder. So what about Ethereum? What about other currencies? I mean, they're not made that way. So with Ethereum, is it going to get harder or is it the same? How does that work?
It's the same. It's the same principle, right? So you guys have probably heard about Bitcoin mining, and it's basically people with very very specialized and powerful computers trying to randomly guess the solution to a mathematical problem. They're throwing dice and trying to get 66666, right, or whatever number. And so Ethereum works the same way. They do proof of work mining, and they're it's the same strategy. They use different algorithms because they want to make it harder for people that have already developed very advanced, specialized machines to just move all their power to their new currency and then kind of take it over. There's kind of balance. You need to make sure that nobody has more than 51% of the mining power, because if they do, then they basically own. They can control how things go. So that's one of the and it's a theoretical sort of risk, right? But so for the most part, Bitcoin has never really gone over 51%. It only happened once for about a day, and then it fell back down. And then, like most mining pools or mining organizations today, don't have more than 20% or something like that, right? And so the same is for Bitcoin, for Ethereum. There's a lot of currency. There's like 700 cryptocurrencies. This is the thing. We're entering the era of currency competition. You no longer have to be bound by whatever your government or the Federal Reserve or whatever society you're in dictates are the rules by which money gets controlled and created and where it's stored and how it's moved. No more. You have a lot more options now. And that is a freedom that is, unparalleled, right? I mean, you can do gold and you can do silver, and that's been an option for a long time, but you can't move silver to China in an hour.
No,
you can't, and it's instant, really.
It's unbelievable because here's what again. So I hope people are realizing this. The governments are controlling more and more and more. They're not just spying on you and making sure they have all your information and they know who you are, all that stuff. They don't want you moving money around. They don't want you leaving your country with money. They're especially in the U.S. is just where it's getting really, really, really bad. They're reporting people now. If you take out a certain amount of money, like it used to be, like if you take out more than $10,000, your bank would have to report it. Now they're saying that if you take even over $2,500, they're going to report it. If you pay for something in cash, you can be reported as a suspicious person. They're setting it up now. This has already happened. Like if I had said this a year or two ago, people would go, "You're fucking crazy, bro. You're a conspiracy theorist." This has already happened. In the U.S. right now, if you owe the IRS more than $50,000, you will have your passport blocked. You can't leave the country. Now, you could have had a $3,000 bill, and the government goes, "Yeah, but we're giving you fines at $50,000. Oh, you owe us $50,000. Okay, you can't leave the country." This is how it begins. They can stop anyone now from leaving the country. Now it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. They're talking about setting up TSA checkpoints now on the streets, so they'll just be searching you for whatever reason. They'll say, "Oh, can you step over here? We're going to search you." But it always comes down to the money. They're controlling the gold. It's already happened in the U.S. history where they confiscated people's gold. That's happened in the past.
Oh yeah.
So they can take your gold, they can take your silver, they can outlaw it if they want to. They can stop you from wiring money. They can all this kind of stuff, but they can't control your Bitcoin. That's the thing. So let's say you want to escape the United States, for example, for whatever reason. You said something that you shouldn't have said. And by the way, people are getting raided and stuff just for making Facebook comments at this point. I mean, this is already happening. People have gone. I've read stories from verifiable news sources online. Anyone can go and can look them up yourself if you want to. Everything we say, by the way, please go do your research. Yeah. Every single thing. You think it's crazy? Yeah, go ahead on Google. Spend 20 minutes and research. There's people out there who have been put on no-fly lists who were not able to board a plane because they went on Facebook and said something against Obama, against the administration. That's a fact. Think about that for a second. Okay, so it's getting to that point where they're just going to go, "Yeah, we don't like what you said. You're on a list. You can't fly." You have to go to court then. You have to go to court, spend tons of money to fight that. If you don't have any money, you're fucked. You may never leave your country again. That's what's happening today. I'm not even talking about what's happening tomorrow or in a year or two. So with Bitcoin, okay, if you can sense, okay, you need to get the fuck out of your country, sell your shit, sell your gold, your silver, sell your car, everything you have, sell it. You put it into Bitcoins, you secure your Bitcoin wallet, get on a fucking plane or a bus, leave your country. You can spend those Bitcoins to buy food. You could buy things on the internet. You can meet people and get local currency later if you want to. If you want to change your Bitcoin back into some fiat currency somewhere, you could do that. You can basically leave the country like, yeah, I'm just going on vacation with nothing on you, and you have all your wealth on you, and you can start a new life somewhere else. That is the power of cryptocurrency. That's insane. It allows you to escape a fucking dictatorship.
Yeah.
Which at this point in the U.S. is a fucking military oligarchy dictatorship. There's no way around it. That's what it is.
Absolutely. I mean, you can literally move your money. You can memorize a passphrase and then walk across the border, do all the TSA shit, get patted down and felt up, and then your money's in your mind. Right?
Yeah.
How are they going? They can't attack that.
Well, they can. They put a gun in your mouth and say, "You're going to tell us what
Yeah.
your thing is, or we're going to shoot you."
If they know you have it.
If they know they have it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. And again, even like a couple of years ago, there was a guy in Canada who basically he was crossing whatever, he was entering the country, and they said, "Oh, can you unlock your phone, please? We want to check it out." And he said, "No." And they said, "Unlock your phone." He said, "No, it's private. It's my private information. I'm not gonna do it." And they charged him. And he has to go to court now, and they're trying to charge him with some charge. I don't even know what happened with that case, but this is how intrusive it is. They can literally just say, "Yeah, open up your computer." I've heard stories of them crossing the states. If you don't, they want to look through your computer. But not only that, with some people, and I've met people who they've done this too. They want to copy all the information off your computer. Just to have a copy of it, so they can literally just copy everything off. They have some device that just clones your hard drive, and then they say, "Okay, see you later." And they just have a copy of everything. This is so far from freedom, or even an illusion of freedom, that it's absurd. And Bitcoin, I consider, is other than having like I can't think of anything that's more important than to at least control your own money. It's really on the top list of things. Control your own money.
Yeah.
Don't be robbed of all your money. That's pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of the things that fascinated me about Bitcoin early on, is that it's so deep. Like, it's so deeply embedded in everything that we do in society that to change it, it's going to change the world dramatically. That there's a reason why governments, like if you look at any government in the world, they all have their own currency, right? Why is that? For the most part, like if they went to the United States, sort of kind of entered Puerto Rico, or they made big moves in Ecuador, then suddenly this country shift to the US dollar, and that is considered a kind of like union, right? But but even then, right, it's a shift that's clear, right? Countries have their own money. When you escape their money, when you enter a online cyberspace type cryptocurrency, you're kind of escaping their legal jurisdiction in a sense. They can still come after you and try to get you to give them the resources. Governments are just thieves, like just petty thieves or gangs or whatever. Whoever you think is bad and after your resources. This is fundamentally a security model for your wealth, and it's going to be like in a few years, Bitcoin is going to be like the internet. Give it 10 years, it's going to be like the internet, and you're going to be like, man, I really wish I fucking put some money into this thing.
Yeah, it's better to start now. And even now, I feel like, I'm late. I got friends who went in at like $5-10. I bought some when it was at like $150. But if it's gonna go to 10,000, hey, you know what? $400 or $500, that's pretty good. That's still a pretty good deal. So let's get a little practical here. Let's assume people want to get some fucking Bitcoin. What is the easiest, quickest way somebody can get a Bitcoin wallet and get them some Bitcoin today before it blows up? Because that people may not realize, but every approximately 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, when you solve one of the riddles to get Bitcoin, it gets halved. The reward of Bitcoins gets halved. So that's coming up approximately this summer, sometime in July or August. So what that means is there's going to be half the amount of new Bitcoins coming into production, which is going to drive the price up, right? So it's probably going to go up.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, you don't know for sure, but it's probably going to go up quite soon.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that definitely could happen. There are possibilities that people have already been accounting for that, but it maybe not, right? Like people that are in the know, they're going to be buying early, right? But the people that are not in the know, they're going to be like, oh my god, they're going to get it late, and a lot of money is going to probably go up.
Right.
So there's a good chance it's going to go up. But there's a lot of reasons why Bitcoin could go up at any moment, right? There's no question that geopolitically the world is very, very, very stressed right now, and Bitcoin is becoming a safe haven for people's wealth. So
that's right.
There's a lot of reasons.
That's right. And what I didn't realize, and somebody explained this to me, but a lot of these countries, we just assume that everyone can go to the bank, put their money in the bank and stuff like that. Well, first of all, the bank's not safe. That's been proven. But not just, look at what happened in Cyprus. They just went and took a percentage of money in everybody's account. If that can happen in Europe, it can happen anywhere. There is no country safe, and banks don't have any money. If you actually most banks have less than 1% of the total amount of deposits they have on the records. I don't think people think about that for a second. If you go and put $100 into the bank, they don't actually have that money. That money's been loaned out to other people immediately. None of it is actually really there. It's all just computer numbers. So if even like 5% of people who have bank accounts all went and said we all want our money back, the bank doesn't have the money. They don't have the money, and your money, they say, oh, it's insured by the government, blah blah blah. It's not. It's not. The government's going to just go, we don't have any money. The bank's going to collapse. No one's going to come save you. You'll lose everything you have. That's what's about to happen. I can feel it. All the governments everywhere are absolutely fucking broke. The banks are broke. It's all a big, huge scam. There's no money. The only way you can save your money is get some gold or silver or land somewhere that you own, and cryptocurrencies. This is it. And people will listen to this and go, yeah, whatever, bro. People have been saying that for years. You wait till it happens, and then you'll be like, fuck. So my point is, get your ass some fucking bitcoins is the point. So what's a real quick way? Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I had a point. I was just totally went around in a circle and forgot the point. So my point was, a lot of people don't actually have bank accounts. So if you go to Africa, there's people walking around. The only money they have is the money they have either in their pockets or inside their house. There is no bank. There is nothing. So if somebody comes with a gun, takes all your shit, you have nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bitcoin now, people are getting it on their smartphones, right? Which means, so people might not have bank accounts, but they can get an old iPhone or some sort of other phone that can actually have a big Bitcoin wallet on it. So that means, finally, not even millions, but potentially billions of people across the world can have some way of storing their wealth. Imagine you have family silver. Imagine your family's just been collecting silver in a fucking hole in your house, right? For the last 20 years. There is no bank. Maybe you have $5,000 worth of silver. That's your entire family fortune. And then you learn about Bitcoin and you're like, wait a minute, we could sell the silver and we can have Bitcoins. And we can leave the country or have it somewhere safe. Imagine if all these fucking people start turning into Bitcoin, which they will because they don't have any other alternative. What's going to happen to the price?
Oh, yeah. And it's not only being able to store their value, it's being able to have them actually connect to a global economy and interact and trade with everybody else in the world.
Right.
So that's going to bring a huge amount of human capital to the world. I mean, it's incredible.
It is incredible. Okay, so for me, I just went to Blockchain.info, and that's a pretty safe place to get a wallet, and I've got it fucking secured through the roof. It emails me, and I've got Google Authenticator on that shit and multiple passwords, so it would be really hard to hack my Bitcoins. Now, are they safe on there in that case, or can it still be hacked?
Well, there's always safer ways to keep your Bitcoin. So, I mean, the most basic way, you asked me, like, how do you get Bitcoin? Let's start there. So, there's a few ways to buy Bitcoin, right? I mean, depending on where you are in the world, if you look up your country and Bitcoin exchange or buy Bitcoin, you're going to run into a few companies, right? Let's start with America, like in the United States. There's Coinbase, there's Circle. There's a few big sort of Bitcoin banks, really is what they are, right? And you can connect your bank account with their bank account and then move money to their sort of service and then convert it into Bitcoin and get the Bitcoin out. Definitely get the Bitcoin out. Bitcoin has had big controversies. Everybody's heard about empty gogs. People, like the media, has claimed Bitcoin died 20 times in the past 5 years or more, right? It hasn't died. Companies that hold people's Bitcoin have died. Bitcoin, the protocol, Bitcoin, the internet sort of currency is still alive. And but I think the lesson that we've learned from that is you got to learn to just keep your own Bitcoin, right? And it's everything that's worth something has a bit of a learning curve. So this is something that you'll have to spend a few hours sort of figuring out. But here's the sort of the quick sort of easy ways, right? So you look up if there's any legitimate popular exchanges in your country. If there's not, or even if there is, but you don't want to go through an exchange, there's another thing that's called local bitcoins, localbitcoins.com. And this is one of the best ways to get Bitcoin. You get in there, it's sort of like the Airbnb of Bitcoin exchanges. You go in there, create an account, say, hey, I want to buy some Bitcoin. Somebody says, hey, I have some Bitcoin to sell you. You meet up at Starbucks, and then you give them money, they give you Bitcoin, and then you're good. And there's a way to do it with escrow so that Bitcoin, local Bitcoin is in the middle, making sure that nobody gets cheated or anything. The authentication, deal with somebody that has a lot of reputation, and in a couple of hours you can have Bitcoin. The other way is to actually work for Bitcoin. So if you know anybody that is interested in Bitcoin that you're working with, just start asking people, hey, can you just pay me in Bitcoin? I mean, I've been paid in Bitcoin for 2 years. Granted, I've been doing Bitcoin media, so all Bitcoin websites, media websites, pay in Bitcoin, right? But it's becoming more and more common that people will actually do it, right? Because any decent sized company that is not corporate sort of giant, right, will probably say, okay, yeah, sure, they can create an account on CoinDesk, then pay you in Bitcoin, and then just move money through their banking system. So it's possible, and there's ways to sort of so that's one way, right? You can maybe get paid in Bitcoin. So those are the ways to do it. Now, how do you hold it, right? My favorite wallet is Mycelium. And we'll put the link below, Mycelium, something like that, Mycelium. And it's a very private, very easy to use, very simple wallet. And so you just grab your Android phone. It's only on Android, so you sort of grab your Android phone and you look it up, download it, it works. If you're doing iOS, I believe Airbits is in there. Bread Wallet is in there, which is also good. If you want to get your Bitcoin on your desktop, Electrum is a wallet that's pretty good, and those are like the sort of entry level, pretty secure. You control like very secure. You control your money wallets, but you can go a lot further in security, right? So there's something called USB hardware wallets. They're called. I have one of these. It's called the Ledger Nano. And it's basically a USB device that has a little microprocessing chip in it. And this thing has a very unique code, like a unique cryptographic key, right? And so it's like it's only you know how to get the money out of that chip. And they give you a little card, and it has like a very special code and stuff. And so basically your Bitcoin is in this USB key, and you have a backup of it, 12 words, you write them down somewhere and hide it, and that's your life, that's your money, right? You protect it like you protect anything else physical. And memorize it, whatever, spread it into 3 different parts, give it to 3 people you trust, There's lots of ways that you can protect information. It's a lot easier to protect information in some ways than it is to protect physical. I mean, it's a tough thing, but it's hard to say sort of what's easier, but we know how to protect hardware things, so a USB key sort of makes sense, right? Write it down on paper, whatever, right? And there's a lot of research on this. You can go learn more about this, right? And then the next step, and then you grab this USB key and you plug it into your phone, you plug it into your laptop, you put in the passphrase like to log in, and then boom, you can move your Bitcoin. And now it's stored offline, so hackers can't get to it, right? That's one big thing. Hackers can't get to it. The next best thing is cold storage. And this is particularly good if you just want to put money, like throw some money at Bitcoin and then forget about it for a few years, right? And if it, quadruples, fantastic. If it goes down to 0, whatever, right? Like definitely keep that in mind. Like this is still sort of early technology. Like there's a huge potential, but there's nothing in the world that has no risk. And there's a chance that, I don't know, right? Like it's just going to collapse, right? And I don't see that happening, but, you can't guarantee
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So, but cold storage is basically you have a computer that's always offline. You create you generate a Bitcoin wallet there, and you can generate it offline, never connected to the internet, and literally just copy an image of the public key, which is sort of like your Bitcoin email, right? You use a public key, and then you move it to a computer online, and then send money to it. And your wallet, your private keys, your password is never going to touch the internet. And that's cold storage. You can turn the computer off, have a couple of copies of the same data in different hard drives, whatever, write down the passphrase somewhere in paper. And that's cold storage, never touch the line. That's one of the most secure ways. The next level for that is multi-signature. And multi-signature is where you have 3 different keys, or like n of 15 keys, right? You can have like 10 of 15, 11 of 15, whatever of 15 different wallets have to approve a withdrawal of money, right? So that's the next level, and you can do that cold storage as well. So you can have 3 different cold storage wallets, right? So you can go very deep with the security on this,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
Armory is the best wallet for security. If you're looking to put a lot of money into it, Armory is one of the best security wallets out there. So, I mean, I can go on for a while, but just to give people kind of an idea of the market, they're probably overwhelmed already, but
they're probably freaking out. But I would say, yeah, just a really, really easy way is what I did. I just went on Blockchain.info. You open up a wallet there. It's really, really fast to do.
Blockchain is legit.
Yeah, it's totally legitimate. Yeah, and you have your wallet there. You have your receiving code. It's literally just, you can email it to people, whatever. It's actually completely safe to give people your receiving code. There's no way they can hack your wallet. All they can do is send you money. That's it. It's absolutely useless any other way. So once you have that code, you can meet someone from localbitcoins.com. Just pick someone who has a decent reputation, that they've had at least 5-10 transactions. But some people on there have thousands or hundreds and hundreds, and their rating is like 99.9%. So they're not fucking anyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are people who've been doing this probably professionally. So you meet up with them anywhere, and you just say, hey, how's it going? They'll send you, you show, some people might just say, can you show me the money? You show them the money. They send you the Bitcoin. You wait for at least one confirmation. So all you do is you log into your account on blockchain, and it shows you the amount of confirmations. So they send you the Bitcoin, and once you see a confirmation, it's relatively safe. Once you get 2 confirmations, it's almost impossible for them to be ripping you off. And that's just a confirmation from some of the other computers on the network that are saying, yes, this is a real transaction. You don't have to get too much into it. But and that's it. And once you have those confirmations, you're like, cool, awesome. You give them the money, shake their hand, and you've now got Bitcoins in your wallet. Don't tell anyone your password. And that's relatively safe and relatively simple. And that's how I've done it. I've always had issues like you got to show your ID and go through all this shit. It's like it's like dealing with the bank on a lot of these exchanges. It's a pain in the ass. I'd rather just open up my wallet on the blockchain or one of these other apps and meet someone in person. It takes 15 minutes. You meet up with somebody if you're in any major city, and just buy Bitcoins off them. It's really a lot simpler. I prefer that.
Yeah, that's how I like to do it. I get paid in Bitcoin. That's the best way to do it, I think. But
you get to make new friends. So
yeah, absolutely. You meet really interesting people too.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. All right, cool. So there's some basics, and I guess let's go a little bit into. I'm fascinated by a couple of things. I'm fascinated by Bitcoin mining as an investment, and I'm fascinated by making money off new currencies. Well, here's a cool thing. This is something I want to talk to you about anyway. So when somebody, let's say tomorrow, let's say I start my own cryptocurrency. We'll call it Sasha Coin. Okay, whatever, for whatever reason. As long as there's some hype behind Sasha Coin, like I back it with something, and I say, okay, well, Sasha Coin, look, if you get this many Sasha Coins, you can do a boot camp with me. Or if you have this many Sasha Coins, I'll spend an hour with you on a consult and work on your life or whatever. But it has some inherent value. Like there is a genuine value to it because it's worth something. So, and I was actually thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool to have a cryptocurrency? This is my idea. Maybe someone's done it right. A cryptocurrency where one coin is worth 1 hour of service. And that's it. So if you send me one of these coins, and the service that I offer is coaching, so for example, dating coaching, I will spend an hour with you on that. But if I send the coaching to, let's say I get that coin, and I send the coin to you, you have to spend an hour of time teaching me about cryptocurrencies. So anyone who's part of the network, basically, they offered their skill. So I'm willing to take whatever this coin is, service coin we can call it. I'm willing to take that coin, and for that coin, I'm willing to give you, so it's a real coin, and it's worth 1 hour of my time. That will drive the price up. Because if you can get an hour of an expert really helping you with something, that's valuable. I mean, that's valuable. It's worth, at least minimum 20 to hundreds of dollars an hour for one coin. That's a lot. So what do you think of that idea?
Well, this is
service coin.
Yeah, this is one of the amazing things about digital money is that anybody can create their own currency. Literally anybody can create their own currency, right? Now, the problem with creating a new altcoin is that you have to worry about the security of the network, right? Bitcoin has a huge mining sort of computing power stuff, but that's okay because there's cryptocurrencies that have specialized on making it so that anybody can create their own currency on top of it. One of these cryptocurrencies is called NXT. NXT. If you look up NXT cryptocurrency, you'll find it, right? There's another one called BitShares, right? You look at BitShares 2 is pretty good. There's another one called NewBits. There's like 10, right? NXT is one of my favorites because I just know it. It's not like it's it's very good, and you can go in there and for about $10 you can create your own cryptocurrency.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and then you just simply say, okay, well, you tell your audience, people that you know, your friends, whatever. You say, hey, listen, people, this is my cryptocurrency. This is one coin or Sasha coin, and in exchange for one coin, you get to do whatever. And you in a sense are the value of that currency because you are guaranteeing the peg between your service and the coin, right? And you can build services around this in currencies, right? I mean, there's a lot of examples of people creating a cryptocurrency and then just selling it.
An easy way to do it would just be, okay, cool. So one Sasha coin, for example, one Sasha coin is worth $1 towards any of my services. So if you want to take a boot camp with me, it's $3,900 Sasha coins. But I can say, well, here's the thing. I'll sell you a Sasha coin for 50 cents. So suddenly someone goes, wait a minute, I could buy this for 50 cents. I could sell it to someone for 60 cents or 70 cents. Or if I want to take a course with this guy that's worth $4,000, I could get the coins. I could get it for $2,000. Fuck, that coin's a great deal. I want that coin. So now there's a demand for the coin. Now other people might want the coins. Well, what if other people from other companies said, okay, well, we're willing to take Sasha coins for services too? Now the coin value goes up. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I thought a Sasha coin or a service coin would be interesting, because why limit it to dating? Why not anything? If you have a service that's a skill, and other people will take this coin for other valuable services, well, you could just do the work, get the coins, and then spend those coins on whatever you want. Massages. You could spend it on a tax advice. You could spend it on whatever the fuck. Service coin.
Yeah. There's an interesting idea that I wanted to do an article, and I never did it, right? It's called career coins, right? And it's basically you say, hey, people, here's my talent, right? This is kind of a similar idea, right? Here's what I know how to do. I'm a software developer, or I'm a, whatever you do, right? You're, just an artist, whatever, right? And I have this 3 projects that I want to do, right? So I'm going to put out create a coin, right? And if you buy it, you're going to get 10% of the revenue that I get from this project that I'm going to do, right? And so it's a way for, you can basically offer equity on yourself like you would equity on a company, right? And so that's one sort of option that's now, cost $10 to do, right? Or less maybe, right?
So here's the point I was going to make. You can make a lot of money in crypto because, look, if you can look back in time now and you bought Bitcoin at like $5, if you put in like a few thousand, then you would have a disgusting amount of money right now. A disgusting amount of money. If you bought it at $1, if you just bought $10,000 at $1, you'd be worth $4 million. Now I could have done that math wrong in my head, but guess what? It would still be a lot of fucking money. So there's new currencies coming out, but here's the interesting thing: because you can trade cryptocurrencies now on websites like Shapeshift.io and what was it? The one I just showed you a second ago, Bitrex was it? Anyway, there's websites where you can go and change any crypto for another crypto. So what that means is if somebody starts a new crypto, I could do Sasha Coin tomorrow, and as long as there's enough hype behind it, where some people go and they buy it and it drives the price up. If Sasha Coin starts at $1 and it goes to $10, and you take that and you shove it all into Bitcoin, right? You just made 10x on your money, right? It doesn't matter that Sasha Coin went to fucking 10 cents after. It makes no difference, because for one moment in time, even if it was a day, it was worth $10, and then you put it into Bitcoin, which is stable. You just made a shit ton of money. So all you got to do is get in early. You just got to get in early on any of these, and you can make a fucking killing. That's the bottom line. Like right now, what's blowing up is Ethereum. My buddy bought Ethereum at like $2-3 or something, and now it went up to like $14. He basically made multiple times his money in a few weeks. It's fucking crazy.
It's insane. Yeah. I wouldn't say all of them. Like what we're talking about. Depending on how you look at it, 700 to 3,000 cryptocurrencies. Wow. Like I've spent 2 years. Like as soon as I learned enough of Bitcoin, I was like, I'm just gonna jump straight ahead to Bitcoin 2.0. So the next generation of cryptographic currencies and all this stuff, right? And I spent the past year and a half researching alternative cryptocurrencies. And so I put money on Ethereum, blew up. I put money on Dash, which is number 6 cryptocurrency, very private, very fast, and they're doing like a social network evolution thing. It's incredible. I got stuff on my YouTube channel. YouTube.disruptech.info. We'll talk about that later maybe. And then, so Dash is great. And then there's NXT. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies that are very good, but there's a lot of them that are just crap, and they call it scam coins, right? So you have to... Shit coins. Yeah, you have to learn the basics, and you have to do research and ask people that know, right? I think this is a good time to do the plug, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm doing consulting for cryptocurrencies. You want to learn how to sort of set up Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, all this stuff. Then you can contact me on disruptech.info. That's disruptech with a K, and so I can help you out. There's a lot of people on Twitter, Facebook. Just ask people or read articles. There's a lot of information out there. But yeah, you do have to do your research. But if you put your money in the right place, it can blow up, and it's worked for me, man. I literally I've just made so much money off of this. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like it certainly beats a day job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's essentially investing in technology, but also investing in the future. It's investing in future currency, but now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just getting in early, and it's an opportunity. It's just a huge.
Imagine if you bought a bunch of domains in like 1995. You just went to a domain to .com, like whatever, and just bought like 1,000 domain names.
Apple.com.
Apple.com.
Sexylady.com. I like vagina.com, pretty much anything. You'd be worth, each domain name now would be worth over $1 million.
Yeah.
So so just getting 100 of them would just have made you $100 million.
Yeah.
See what I mean? It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is happening now. You're saying this is what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah. This shit is happening
right now.
Right now. Yeah. Like, and it's not too late. You can still get on it. Do your research. It's important to do research, but there's definitely incredible opportunities out there. I think Ethereum just went to $15.
That's crazy.
From like $1 to $15 in about a month, which is unfathomable. Like, I guarantee you, Ethereum is going to be the best investment opportunity in 2016. Like, it already is, probably, right? I mean, no, guarantee I can put money on that, and I think Ethereum is sort of like Bitcoin in that it just, like, Bitcoin, started at like pennies, right? Like fractions of a penny, then blew up to $30, then fell down to $5, stayed at $5 for about a year, then went up to 150, fell down to 60, and then went to $1,000. I think Ethereum is at close to the 30 spike for Bitcoin, right? Like, this is really the second big spike of Ethereum. It's probably going to fall down. Right now it's falling back to 12, and it's going to keep doing that. And Ethereum, we just look up the articles, right? Major news websites are talking about it. Microsoft is endorsing it hardcore.
How low do you think it's going to go? Just now. Just on this.
I don't know, dude. I don't think it's going to go lower than 5. I don't think it's going to go maybe even lower than 8. But I'm not a chart analyst. I'm not a trading expert. I look at the fundamentals of a cryptocurrency. Just because I didn't buy it 2, 3. Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Welcome to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah. I heard about it. I'm like, Jeff emailed out about it about 2 months ago, saying about Dash, that one, Ethereum, and some other one, and I was like, I should get a bit of all those. 6 weeks, maybe 2 months later, it blows up. I'm like, fuck. Every time, it's like I hear about it, and doing, oh, fuck sakes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the eternal kind of joke, like, just whenever you get into Bitcoin, like, if you buy any Bitcoin in 10 years, you're gonna be like, fuck, I wish I bought more.
Yeah.
And there's no way around that. Everybody wishes they bought more. But some people said, like, fuck, I put too much money in it and I lost my Bitcoin wallet. So you gotta hedge your bets, right?
You gotta hedge your bets. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Well, that's what's so smart about investing in a few coins with a few different wallets. You know what I mean? So even if you lose one, you're like, well, that was only 15% of what I had. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it all does well, that's another thing. So let's get into. So we're talking about how to make money. So keep your eyes open for new coins. Do the research, and if they seem good, put some money into them. You know what I mean? I would start off by getting a bunch of Bitcoin, and then from there you can invest that Bitcoin into some other coins when they come into existence.
And definitely hold Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin is like 80% worth more than every other cryptocurrency out there, right? Like, it's the king. It's the biggest network. $6 billion worth of wealth in it. 7 years or 8 years of infrastructure and talent and investment. So Bitcoin is the king, right? I definitely if you're going to invest in cryptocurrencies, invest in Bitcoin. But there's other cryptocurrencies that are going to be doing things that Bitcoin can't do because Bitcoin was the first. Bitcoin is great compared to fiat currency, but it's still relatively slow compared to new alternatives, right? So one of the things that I talk a lot about is Dash, right? Dash is instant. Literally 5 seconds, somebody has your money. Like you send it and they get the money and they give you the product and it's fucking done. Bitcoin takes a minimum of, you can get it instantly, but it's not secure until about minimum 10 minutes, recommended by core developers 1 hour. You gotta wait 1 hour to have the recommended confidence that the money is there.
Right, so it's fine for sending money to your friend.
Yeah.
No big deal, but it's not fine for if you want to buy a computer in a store and walk out because, someone could rip someone off, basically. So that's bad for everybody.
And some merchants are willing to take that risk because the majority of people don't know how to cheat it.
Right.
And that's okay, right? But I know how to cheat it, right? And it's open source, right? So Dash is one of these alternatives. Dash also has a lot more privacy than Bitcoin. So that's something that you should start to learn more about. It's like Bitcoin is great. It's not anonymous. Bitcoin is not anonymous. There's movements within Bitcoin to make it anonymous. And there's a few projects that are being developed, but nothing kind of out right now that is like really incredibly powerful. Dash was designed to be private, right? So you can look into it. I have a speech going into all of that on my YouTube channel, and So like this is one of the currencies that I'm very interested in. So Ethereum is great. There's a few other ones. There's like if you look at coinmarketcap.com, coinmarketcap.com, it's a list of all the cryptocurrencies, or like a lot of them, and organized based on how much wealth has been invested into them, and it's called market cap. And the top 10, they're pretty good. Start with the top 10, right? Learn about them. And then if you're feeling lucky and if you're really putting a lot of energy into this, then go down, right? Top 20, top 30. And there's gems. I mean, every once in a while, one of these things just, goes up 10, 300%. You're like, holy shit.
A really simple thing is just look at charts. Look at a crypto that's been around a little while, and there's always explosions and sell-offs. Everything goes up and down. Same thing with the stock market, same thing with everything. So if you're watching something and it blows up and you don't have any, and then suddenly it drops off, what that means is it's going to blow up again at some point. So if you're buying it near the bottom end of the mountain, basically, and you're willing to hold it for a while, you're probably going to make money. It's really that simple. Don't make the mistake of buying when everyone's already buying. It's too late. If everyone's already buying it now, it's too late. You fucked up. You didn't get in early enough. But at some point, people are going to take profits and it's going to drop again. That's when you buy. You always generally want to do the opposite of what everyone's doing. If everyone's buying, don't fucking buy.
Yeah.
If everyone's doing that, everyone's like, no one's doing anything, then you should be buying. You know? So that's it.
Yeah, as far as Ethereum goes, which is the biggest kind of craze right now, and it's a legit. There's very, very good reasons why it's very popular, right? I wouldn't buy right now because it just hit a peak of $15.
Yeah.
So right now it's the 12. I would maybe throw a little bit of money into it, just to be safe, in case it goes to parabolic to $100 a piece or something. But then I would wait for it to fall more.
Right. Yeah. As insurance, buy a little bit. Then if it hits 10, buy some. Then if it goes even lower, start buying more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Or start mining. And there's another thing I was going to talk about briefly. I'm no expert, but again, you can invest in this specialized hardware. Basically, people set up these pools where they have a tremendous amount of computing power and specialized equipment to solve these problems in order to get coins. So I've been Bitcoin mining for a couple of weeks now. Seems to be going okay. I'm still, I'm still want to do more calculations and whatever before I start promoting it. But it is possible to make money. And then I just put in one Bitcoin, 1.1 Bitcoins into mining Ethereum, and that's it's making money. It's making money as long as the Ethereum price stays high. It's definitely profitable. So, but again, just do your fucking research. Don't, but there's a way. There's ways. The simplest way is just get some Bitcoin and hold it. Hold it forever until it reaches. Yeah, for years. Yeah. Well, that was my plan during the Greeks fucking collapse shit. I bought some, and I literally took the money from one of my courses, and I just said, right, it's one weekend. I think it was 1 week worth of work in my life. I'm gonna take that and put it in Bitcoin. If I lose it, I lose it. It was one program I did once in my life. But if it blows up, cool, I'll be happy with that. And it was just a very conscious amount of okay, I'm going to risk this amount of money for a big payoff. And that's just an important thing in life. Just make calculated risks. You can't ever get ahead in life without making risks.
Yeah.
Ever. The people who get ahead are the people who take risks, but they're risks that they think about, they calculate them, and they work them out. And they take reasonable risks. And so I would say crypto is definitely a really good one, but it's still a risk. But I'd say take some risk and see what you can do.
Yeah, you can't avoid the risk. Literally, at any moment, a meteor could fall on you and.
Yeah, well, we're not far from nuclear war for years now. Yeah, there's North Korea, NATO is threatening Russia. The whole world is it's all planned. Of course, it's not like fluke. People are trying to fuck the planet up because that's how they make more money.
Oh, yeah.
So, but a good defense against that is living in a bunker, or at least get some crypto, and food and water and gold and silver, and a gun with lots of bullets. But we're talking about cryptocurrency this month, so we'll just stick to that. All right. Well, look, we're pretty much coming up on an hour mark. It's been I think that's a pretty good primer. Yeah. Pretty good primer. Pretty good tips there. So tell the guys about your website. Tell the guys what the fuck you're doing, how you can help people crush it with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, one of the basic things that I do for consulting is I teach people how to go from knowing nothing about Bitcoin but interested to having a very good security. And if you want to go up to even higher levels of security, I can connect you with the right people. I can tell you, answer any questions that you have about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, the major ones that I've studied, why they matter. And as this is a consulting fee, $50 an hour, and you got my time, and you can ask me whatever you want, I'll work for you, right? So you can find me at disrupttech.com. Disrupttech.info. This is disrupttech with a K.info. I also do interviews with like major Bitcoin sort of experts, and so we have a YouTube channel at youtube.disrupttech.info, and all my stuff is there. I'm on Twitter as Juan Galt, Facebook, I'm on social media, I'm everywhere. So you can contact me, ask me questions, and we can talk about it more.
Sweet. And guys, I'm going to put some links, all links that we mentioned, and an important message from moi in the description. So make sure to check that out. Juan, this has been really fun. I learned a shit ton. It's been a real pleasure. And I'll see you next year in Acapulco again.
Pleasure, man. Thanks so
much. All right. Peace out, brother.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Woo!